Test.
One more time.
You got it? Test, test, test. We got a little feedback.
We have to watch that speaker. It's got a little.
Yeah, do you want to move it forward a little bit? Like towards the audience?
Test, test. Woo!
Back. Back. You test out.
Test, test, test. 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 Woo! Test, test, test. Test, test, test. My bad.
One more time, really quick.
Test, test.
All right, we're good.
Where's Katie? have to move the speaker maybe. Right before him or before maybe when he's done? Any minute right now.
Hey, fellas, they did say this, listen. They did say this. If you do have a phone, fellas, listen. If you do have a phone, they don't have no problem with you taking pictures. But they didn't say you don't have your phone and be talking on the phone or texting on that. You don't have no problem. They say you don't have no problem with taking no pictures. Just don't be disrespectful. You got that much in
All right, listen up.
fellas.
Let me close your mouth.
One time for the noise. One time for the noise. All conversations be ceased.
A couple things before we get started. Junior guys, it's time to refocus on ACT. It's time to refocus. I look at some of those scores. You guys did not take that last practice exam seriously. Some of y'all scores dipped drastically. We have been building momentum, and I understand school was out and things of that nature, but we got to rebuild that momentum back up. Because before you know it, in 2 or 3 months, it'll be test time. So what's going to start happening is this. We're going to have people coming into your junior classes. I'm going to be in your junior classes. I expect everybody to be on time, attentive, and taking responsibility for their learning. I'm going to be in those junior classes every single day. Some of you all have seen me already. I need you guys to refocus. Because we lost focus over the break. That's one of the reasons why I'm bringing you guys back to what we talked about before. You made it this far. You got this ACT exam, and I'm glad there's some red search in here. They can tell you that you're going to do college applications, you're going to do financial aid forms. You will leave Robeson High School with some place to go, but this is the first step. Your ACT score is your first step. Refocus your energy. Get all that nonsense out your spirit. It's time to get back to work, and remember what I said. Accept the mental challenge. You can't go get your gas for this. You can't go get your burner for this. You can't go do none of that. You got to accept this mental challenge every single time. So I'm trying to kick off this operation personalization, is what I'm calling it, by bringing you somebody who has been through these struggles, who's made some mistakes, who's rebuilt themselves. Now, I understand that you guys know who he is from the circuit in which he worked, but I need you all to hear his story. Y'all looking at his glory. He's here to tell you his story. It's a difference. Some of the stuff y'all faced it and beat it. Over time, he's done it. But he's not going to do it unless you refocus. And before we leave, I guess some of y'all get y'all scores? No, that's not it. No. Before you leave out of here, I'm going to get a junior boys their scores from that middle exam that you took 2 weeks ago, so you can see exactly where you did not focus. All right? We don't even have to have the discussion about 100% attention, right? We don't have to have the discussion about 100% respect. Pay attention. Or do we have to sit y'all down here like the nursery school kids? I expect for you to conduct yourselves like young men. I expect for you to be attentive. We understand each other. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Morrow. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's right. It's me. I'm going to start this out by singing a song, one of my favorite songs. Y'all think that's funny? Okay. Now that I have broken the ice, let me bring on to the stage a distinguished personality. Gentleman is a best-selling author, motivational speaker. As Mr. Morrow indicated, that this gentleman has come from the same places that we currently are coming from and survived, which is a testament that you can too, only if you believe in yourself. And that's one of our challenges. We don't believe in tomorrow. So maybe by listening to his story, you will find some hope in your own life and in your own careers. So he hails from Houston, Texas, by way of Harlem, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing to the stage Mr. Booker T. Let's give him a Robeson High and standing ovation. Let's get up on your feet, fellas. Get up on your feet, fellas. Show you right.
What up, guys? Take my jacket off. I don't want to start sweating up here. I tell you, just listening to that little speech earlier, you guys just was there focused. I can only imagine, how it would have turned out if I had that, when I was your guys' age, when I was growing up. I grew up just like you guys, and I'm here to talk to you guys about my story. That's what I'm here to talk to you guys only about is my story, because I really feel like a lot of you guys are in the same position that I was in when I was a kid. Everybody, first of all, you guys do know who I am. All right? You guys been watching me on TV for quite some time. I've been on television for 22 years now. And I've won every wrestling title you can actually possibly name. I've been all over the world. I've seen every speck of that map, but I'm not here to talk about that guy. I'm here to talk about the guy who was a little kid growing up in South Park, a kid who didn't finish high school, a guy who quit in the 10th grade, a kid who ended up in prison at age 21 for making a mistake that could have taken my life. I'm statistically not supposed to be speaking here before you guys, but I refuse to let that X on my back keep me down. I'm the youngest of 8 kids, 4 boys and 4 girls. My mother was a single parent. We grew up in Louisiana. Actually, we was born in Louisiana. She moved us to Houston when I was about 5 years old to try to make a better life, for the family. I remember my mother working countless hours from 11 o'clock at night to 7 in the morning for as long as I can remember. I lost my father when I was 10 months old. My mother ended up passing when I was 13 years old. So from that point right there, I was pretty much on my own as far as everybody else in the family, all my sisters, all my brothers. At that point, my sister pretty much stepped in and took over for my mother. But my sister was, in the life. She was not the greatest role model in the world. I remember my sister, told me one thing. She always said, this the way she taught me. She said, when you tell a lie, no matter whatever that lie is, you stick to it, and you don't divert from it. one thing I didn't realize was that lie was going to stick with me as well. I remember one of the first lessons that my sister taught me was she took me into a store. It was around Easter, and I needed a suit for church. And she took me into the store, went into the little boys area, got me a nice suit, went in the dressing room to try it on, and I tried that suit on, it fit perfect. Then my sister actually put my shirt on over the suit and my pants on over the suit pants. Walked up to the counter, she had a tie, she paid for the tie, told me to just keep on walking, walked right out of the store with a brand new suit on. It felt good. But that was the beginning. That was the beginning of me going down that road thinking that I could do something and get away with it without any retribution. That right there was a lesson that I took with me on into my teens. I came to a point where, and this is very, very important for young men, you young men in here as well as, if y'all got any young ladies in here? Yeah. No, just making sure, it's very, very important for you young men to know about peer pressure. Very, very important for you young men to understand what leadership is all about. I got involved with some guys, and man, we was having a good time. We was doing it up. Ended up coming together as a group, partying. I called myself the Nature Boy, Z-Boy, Windfest, Terry, and I'm gonna tell you, we was a group. We was a crew. We went out and we did it like it's supposed to be done. We partied. I'm talking about we had all the nice ladies, and we was doing it like it was supposed to be done. I always say making them pay, my son, making them bow down. But we got involved in a robbery. It was just something that we were just talking about. I was actually working at the place, actually at Wendy's Hamburgers. But we came to this notion, came with this idea, man, this is too small for us. Maybe we should just rob Wendy's and just take the money and just go on. So that's what we did. We ended up robbing the Wendy's that I worked at. We went in with the uniforms on, ended up sticking them up, getting away with the money, and man, we got about $1,000. No money, which is that's nothing, but to us, we thought we had got away with something. So therefore, we did it again. And then we did it again. We did it again. Next thing you know, we're on the news, and they're calling us the Wendy's Bandits. We're watching this. We think we're getting away with something. Everything was good, man. I mean, we was partying like it was no tomorrow. So one day I came home, walked into my apartment, complex. Everything seemed fine. Got closer to my apartment. It seemed a little eerie that day. Got a little bit closer, and before I knew it, cops came out from everywhere. I was under arrest. Cops asked me if I'd done it. I remember what my sister said. No, I didn't. I had nothing to do with this. I had nothing to do with this. Then they put me in front of a lineup. I got picked out. I had something to do with it. Okay, this is the first time, guys. First time I've ever been in trouble in my life. First time I ever got caught. It's another story. I'm sure you guys been through that. First time I ever got caught. But I didn't realize, what could happen to me from being involved in a robbery. Not just a robbery, but an aggravated robbery. I didn't know, simple robbery carried from 5 to 15. I didn't know aggravated robbery carried from 5 to 99. I didn't know that kind of stuff. So one mistake, guys, I was looking at from 5 to 99 years in prison at age 21 years old. Okay, I stepped up to the plate. I confessed. I said I did it. I'm guilty. They ended up sending me to prison, Texas Department of Corrections. Man, what am I going to do now? I'm behind bars. I'm laying in that little bunk with about 40 other men in that same dorm that I'm in. I lay at night, you know, thinking about the mistakes that I had made. I lay at night thinking about the schooling and the knowledge that I didn't have. But more importantly, I was thinking about what was I going to do when I walked out of that prison cell. 2 years I'm in, my number come up, they tell me they're going to release me. Walk out of that gate, there's a guy sitting on a big white horse, big white hat. Deputy, he tells me, I'll see you when you get back. Man, that right there resonated with me right there, guys. I thought about that very, very hard. I walked out of that prison, got paroled to my sister's house, that same sister who had taught me all of that, you know, stick to that first lie, don't divert from it. I almost got right back into the same stuff that I was in before. It almost made that deputy words come true as far as him seeing me come back there. But my brother came along, he extended his hand, and he said, brother, I want to help you. That's one thing that you guys got to really understand. When somebody extend their hand to you, don't think it's a cop-out or anything to take that hand and take that help. Move on with it. My brother told me, I'm going to help you get you a job. No matter what that job is, you do that job to the best of your ability till something else come along. Now, me coming out of prison, the first job I got was a security guard with a prison record. And those two right there, they don't go together too well. 6 months after I got that job, the security company found out I had a prison record, so they had to fire me. But I was working for a guy at this apartment complex who I had gained his trust. I worked really hard in that 6 months to show these guys that I was not the person that had that X on his back, but I was a guy that was trustworthy. All I needed was a chance. So that guy gave me another position, just like that. Man, by the grace of God, just by doing something right and having somebody believe in me, boom, I moved to the next step. Now guys, wrestling to me was an afterthought, all right? This is not anything that I was thinking about doing. What I was thinking about first and foremost when I came out of that prison was surviving. When I came out of that prison, I realized my son was in foster care. I had a little boy at 17 years old, right before I went into prison. I realized he was in foster care. His mother had left him there. It's one thing I really want to talk to you young men about. Very, very important. Me, as a young man coming out of prison, I had a choice to make. That choice was I going to leave my son in foster care or not? Now, I thought about my mother when that happened. My mother raised 8 kids, all right, as a female. How could I look at myself in the mirror as a man and I couldn't raise one? All right? So first and foremost, that's what I need you young men to think about when going out here in this life, dealing with young females and having kids. It's our biggest problem in our urban community is us young men having kids and then running off and forgetting about it. Guys, we got to step up to the plate when it comes to our little ones, all right? We got to step up to the plate when we go out there and make babies. We got to step up to the plate and raise those babies to become young men, all right? One thing, guys, I know a lot of you guys, you may be in the life, all right? You may be in the life, you may not be, but I'm going to tell you one thing. I've never known a drug dealer that's retired. I've never known a gangbanger, you know, to retire. I'm going to tell you right now, when you're young, you're 16, 20 years old, life is an afterthought. You're not thinking about 30 years old. You're not thinking about 40 years old. But I'm going to tell you guys, one day, you probably will wake up and be 40 years old. You better have a contingency plan, all right? Because I don't know too many 40-year-old gangbangers out there slanging, all right? Do we understand each other, guys? Do we understand each other? All right. Like I say, guys, it's about focus. It's about life. Let me tell you, my biggest regret to this day is not getting my diploma. I wake up every day and I look in that mirror. I've made a whole lot of money. I got a big house. But every time I look in that mirror, I'm a man without his diploma. I asked my son, it's the only thing I ever wanted him to do in life. You don't have to be like me, but all I want you to do is go out there and get that piece of paper. Grow up, become a man. Just like I said, guys, I've been in the same situations you guys been in. I remember once we had no water in the house, no lights, no food, just me and my sister. I remember getting in the old car that we had with half-gallon jugs, empty jugs that we had to go to the gas station and fill up just to have water to brush our teeth with, to flush the commode with. I remember that same smell from the lights being off. I remember the rats and the roaches running around. I could hear that as I slept at nighttime. But all of that is a part of life. One thing I can honestly tell you guys, life is the hardest thing you're ever going to have to deal with in life. I can say that again. Life is the hardest thing you're ever going to have to deal with in life. Now, what I mean by that is, one day, you guys are all young men right now. One day you're going to have to start paying taxes. One day you're going to have kids. Waking up, getting to that next day, making sure your family is taken care of, making sure there's a roof over the head, making sure you don't end up homeless. It's the hardest thing you're ever going to have to deal with in life. And trust me, I can honestly say this. Me coming from where I came from, if I could do it, anybody in this room can do it too. But first and foremost, I honestly, truly believe education is the key. You guys are getting real close to taking a test, right? Right? First and foremost, we're going to have to focus on passing that test. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't study for the test, 10 times out of 10, you're going to fail that test. But if you study for it, 9 times out of 10, you can pass that test. That's what I need, guys. I need all of you young men in here to step up and become men. I need everybody in here to look at themselves in the mirror and say, what do I want to be in life? I can honestly tell each and every one of you black men in here that we are our own worst enemy. And I know you guys know that. We are our own worst enemy. Sometimes like crabs in a bucket, we see our brother getting up and we want to pull him down. We see one going over the top and we want to pull him back in. Guys, we got to learn how to come together as a people in order to go forward. I could be in Houston right now in 75-degree weather because it's cold here. I don't like it at all. But I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't rather be in another place right now than sitting here talking to you guys, trying to give you guys a little uplifted spirit as far as not to go down the same roads Booker T went down. Other than making it up out of there and becoming successful. It's easy to say, man, that's too hard. It's easy to say, I don't want to do that. But to step up to be a man, I'm going to tell you, it's not easy. It's not easy to step up and be a man. Move to that next level. Not live in one stage of life. Life is spring, summer, winter, and fall. I know guys that's 40 years old, that's still living in the summertime, way back in 1979, still there, still in that era. Instead of moving forward and becoming a man and taking care of their own. I know guys who refuse to pay child support, who will let their kids go without food. That's something that we got to change. Guys, I'm sitting here and I'm watching your body language. I'm sitting here and I'm watching your body language. And I can look in your eyes, I can look at some of your eyes, and I can tell that you want better than this. I can tell you want a better life, not just for yourself, but for your families too. But like I say, guys, first and foremost, where's it going to start at? Where's it going to start at? It's going to start education. So you can be anybody you want to be in life, guys. It's not going to be easy. You can be anything you want to be in life. It's going to be up to you. You know what? What I'm going to do right here, I want to take a few questions. I want somebody to, I want to hear what you guys got to say, first and foremost. Talk to me, young man. Yeah. Stand up. What's your name? Devon. Talk to me.
What I want to know is, like, what inspires you to be a wrestler?
You know, wrestling, like I said, was an afterthought. When I started wrestling, wrestling was something that I fell into because it was something my brother wanted to do. But it goes back to when somebody offers you a hand, somebody try to help you, goes back to that. I was working at a warehouse after I came out of prison. A white guy by the name of Bruce DeSarch, he sponsored me to go to the wrestling school because he saw me trying to better myself. He saw that I had no diploma, but he saw I wanted to be more than just that guy standing on the corner. So he sponsored me to go to a wrestling school. I went to that school, it was 8 weeks. Now you can learn nothing in 8 weeks, but I was determined, once I got my foot in the door, they was gonna have to kick me out, all right? That's all I need to do is just get my foot in the door to go to the next level. And I always said, once I got in, I was gonna take it all the way to the top, and that's exactly what I did. I'm the most decorated wrestling champion in wrestling history. I won more titles than any other wrestler out there, but I'm gonna tell you, it's really not about the titles or anything like that. My journey that I've been on for 20 years has been to set an example for guys like yourself sitting in here right now to look at a guy, a black man, on television, representing properly for each and every one of you guys to inspire you to want to be something in life. That's been my dream for the last 22 years, and it's led me right here to Robeson High School, 2013. I wouldn't change it for anything. Young man. Now, what you want to ask? Yeah, wrestling's fake. It's fake as it can get, you know? But the way I answer that question right there, anything that put a roof over your head, your kids through school and food on the table, it's as real as it possibly can get. Who else is there? No, it ain't. What is it? What you got? No, I ain't doing that. Ain't no spinneroonies here today. We're here talking real talk about you young men becoming successful in life. What you got for me? Huh? You know, I never got my diploma, and that's something my wife talked to me about all the time. She says, baby, you got to go back and you got to get it. You know, I got my GED when I was in prison, but it's still not like getting that piece of paper. It's still not like walking with your class. I used to think, you know, those kids that wore the cap and gowns, I used to, you know, think those were the dumbest kids in the schools. I used to think that all of those kids that wore the cap and the gowns, I used to think those kids were real stupid. I used to think they were the dumbest kids in the school. And when I look back on it, I cannot realize how stupid I really was, how dumb I really was, how much of an idiot I really was by thinking the smart guys were the dumb guys. How stupid was I? You know, I am going to go back. You know, like I said, that's something I know I need to do. I got twin babies right now. I'm the general manager of SmackDown. Say what? CM Punk. CM Punk. What about him? No, but I really think it's important for me to get that diploma. Just before, it's something I got to do before they put me 6 feet under. Because like I say, still to this day, everything, I mean, like I said, I got a big house. I've run around the world. I make a lot of money. But still, when I look in that mirror, I don't have that diploma. And the thing is different with me and you guys, I got lucky. I got lucky I fell into professional wrestling. Because I can honestly say I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for professional wrestling. I'd probably be, I'm not going to even, you know, think about where I would be if it wasn't for professional wrestling. With no education, no diploma, no college, living in this computer world today, where everything is so high tech, everything is social media. If you don't have a college degree, you can't even get, you know, a job paying minimum wage. So I can only imagine if I was 21 years old today, without no diploma or no education, trying to live in this life. The only thing that's going to be there for me is banging. The only thing that's going to be there for me is selling drugs. So guys, don't bank on being lucky, all right? I need you guys to bank on being smart. I need you guys to bank on getting that education.
You think not having your dad around was the center of majority of your problems?
No, man. I don't think that was the problem at all. You know why? The reason I say that right there is because my mother was, like I said, a great mother, and like I said, I lost my father when I was 10 months old. But I had a picture of I never knew my dad, but I had a picture of him. And that picture was strong. Stood strong in it. And I knew I wanted to be like my dad, even though I didn't know who he was. Even though he was a president, I knew I wanted to be somewhat like him. So I don't think my dad not being in my life, it's a huge problem though. It really is a huge problem because we as young men, we need direction. We as young men, we need that pat on the back. We as young men, we need that affirmation and confirmation that we did something well. We need that to want to go forward, to make that next hurdle, to climb that next rung. We need that as young men. That's what I'm here for. Your dad may not be in your life, but after you walk out of here today, you're going to know that you can call Booker T and ask him anything that you need to know. And that's just coming from my heart. I'm going to make sure I leave a number for everybody in here to be able to call if they need somebody to talk to. I ain't talking about no money. All right? But if you need to talk to somebody, you're going to be able to call me, and I'm going to try to guide you through that storm. You feel me? I'm sorry.
What's the best feeling now
You know, my best feeling that I get now is, it's crazy, you know. Best feeling I get now is knowing where I came from, knowing where I've gone, and just this part right now, knowing where I'm trying to get. And the thing is, it's not about me no more, guys. It's not about me. I've done it all. I've seen it all. It's about you guys. It's about me coming out here and being able to help the next young man go through this life and make it. That's where my gratification comes from right now. Like I said, as a grown man at 47 years old, when I left my house yesterday, I was in Atlanta, Georgia on Monday night. I was in Jacksonville, Florida on Tuesday night. I flew home on Wednesday just for 5 hours to get on a plane to come here. For no money. All right? And I cried when I walked out of the door and had to leave my twin babies. I cried like a little baby. Tears coming down my eyes. But I still knew I had to go out and get my work done. And this right here, guys, this is my work. You guys.
How did it feel when you was like a professional wrestler and you had like little like kids looking up to you, trying to be like you in life?
Wow. I tell you, when I first started wrestling, maybe I was about 2 years in. I went to this park I used to go to when I was a kid called McGregor Park. You know, just to, you know, reminisce those times where I came from and where I was. And there was this little black kid, and he saw me, he recognized me, and he goes, "Man, I want to be like you when I grow up." And that really touched me, knowing that I had made a kid feel this way, knowing that I was a kid without a diploma, knowing I had really no education, knowing how bad off I really was, and this kid really wanted to be like me. That's why, I mean, all that's great, all that's good. But I realized it's so important for that kid to know who the real Booker T is, opposed to the superstar that's unattainable that they see on television. I want you guys to know that I'm no different than you are. My background parallels pretty much the same as yours. I need you guys to know, if I did it, coming from where I came from, you guys could do it too, first and foremost. But it feels great. Well, yeah. I went to a school in Houston, like I said, a guy by the name of Ivan Pusky. I got my own wrestling school now. I got my own wrestling promotion. I got my own cameras, my own truck, all that stuff. I own that. I need you guys to check it out too at The Booker T ROW on YouTube. Make sure you check it out. But I went to a wrestling school. You checked it out? Yeah. Like I say, I went to a school. I learned the craft. I made sure I got the blueprint as far as what I needed to do to make it through this business. And the blueprint was, like I say, I'm 1% of 99%, mostly white. I had to go to those guys to learn how to do what I need to do. I moved away from Houston, Texas, moved to Atlanta, Georgia, just so I could be right in the middle of the action to give myself the best chance I possibly could at making it. But the wrestling school was $3,000, and it was 8 weeks. You can learn nothing for $3,000 in 8 weeks. Persistence, that's the key. Say again? What about real wrestling? No, I never played sports. I never played sports. I was a drum major in school. I didn't like getting hit. I used to catch headaches when I was a kid. Contact sports was the farthest thing in my mind of doing. But like I say, when the opportunity comes, when that knock comes, you better be prepared. You better be ready, and that's exactly what I was. I was prepared, and I was ready to take on life. No matter what it was at that time, I was ready to take on it, and it just so happened to be professional wrestling. I knew I wasn't going to be one of those kids, you know, hanging on the corner. You know, even though I had a prison record, I was working out in the gym. I was working on my body. I said, my body gonna make me some money. You know, I'm gonna be a boxer, a stripper, something. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna make me some money somehow. But I was thinking, like I say, how I was gonna make that money the proper way.
We got a couple of wrestlers in here, wrestling squad. You in there? Stand up. Let me see. We got a couple.
I don't need that.
Got a couple guys who won the regional championship. They're going down state wrestling. Give it up. Can you tell them a little bit about the what's real popular now is all right, guys, settle down. The MMA. We got some future MMA guys, Ryan. Am I saying it right? We got some future cats in here.
Future MMA guys right here.
Who like to fight, grapple, maybe wrestle.
Hey, what's your question? What's that?
I was just like looking at you like when I was a kid, I thought you did like way more than I thought you probably practiced wrestling and all that.
Nah, man, you know what I say, guys? You don't have to actually know how to do it, you know, wrestling. You just have to act like you know how to do it. You know, I say I used to watch a lot of grinding, you know, so I can jump real high. I can throw the back kick.
Go ahead and jump.
Muhammad Ali was my idol.
Thank you. Muhammad Ali was my idol, so boxing, you know, second nature for me. So as far as that goes, you know, wrestling's wrestling. But what you guys are getting ready to endeavor in, you're talking about the MMA. That's what you guys want to do? Hey man, you know what I say about it? I say go for it. Don't look back. Don't let somebody tell you that you can't do it. Don't let someone tell you that you can't rise to be the best at it. But more importantly, you got to put the time in, put the work in. You got to surround yourself with the guys who do it better than you do. More importantly, just go for it. Don't look back. Know that that's the one thing that might be your ticket up out of here. Take that ticket and you ride it all the way to its next level. Because I say, bro, when I was a kid, I used to catch the bus, you know, here and there. I would catch the bus here. I wouldn't eat very much here, but I said once I got successful, I ain't never catching the bus no more. I'm gonna buy as many cars as I need. I'm gonna do it like I want to do it when I get there. I'm gonna eat steak and lobster from now on. All right? And the only way you can do that, guys, is to become successful and put yourself in position to be able to go out there and live that way. And I'm not trying to brag, guys. I'm not trying to boast or anything like that because that's not something I do. I'm just giving you guys real talk. When you guys go out there and become successful, I'm not even talking about successful in a sport or anything like that. I'm talking about just going out there and being successful in life. I'm talking about being successful as good young men. I'm talking about being successful as far as taking care of your kids. I'm talking about being successful as far as keeping a roof over their head and food on the table. Lights on. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Because this is real. Life is real. Understand this, guys. Life is the hardest thing that you're going to ever have to deal with in life. Trust me on that. Waking up and getting to the next day. When you start having to pay taxes, you're going to realize this. What you got? I just saw somebody raise their hand over here. Like I said, a guy sponsored me. A guy paid for me to go to the wrestling school. A white guy. And that's why, and I say a white guy, I want you guys to understand when I say a white guy, because that's the guy who helped me. That's the guy who extended his hand to me. And I'd be damned if I wasn't going to take it. And I look back on it and I thank that guy. I thank him every day. Because if it weren't for Bruce Sarch putting his hand out to me and saying that I want to help you, not just help me for no reason, but help me because he saw what was in here. He saw I wanted to be more than just a number. He saw I wanted to be more than just an X. So he helped me because he was a rich man and he was in position to do it because he saw a kid trying to do something for himself. That's why I'm here today.
Do you feel like you had something to prove growing up?
Yeah, heck yeah. I think I had something to prove. Not to any one individual or anything like that. I had something to prove to myself. My mother always told me, it don't cost you nothing to say, please, thank you, yes ma'am, no sir. She said those things don't cost you anything and they'll get you so far in life. It may be the thing that take you over the top to that next level. But I'm sorry. I was just thinking about my mother right there. Sorry. I get choked up. I get a little choked up when I talk about my mother because, like I said, I know how strong she was. She passed away at 49 years old, not due to illness or anything like that. She went in for back surgery. I was talking to her one day. She told me she was going in for surgery that evening, and that was the last time I talked to my mother due to a malpractice. Heart stopped, and that was the last time I saw her alive. You can only imagine how that's going to weigh on a 13-year-old boy. You can only imagine how that turned a fire in my stomach to want to just, I was mad at the world at that time. And I'm sure perhaps one of you guys, or maybe more, may be in that same position. And you can literally let that one thing define your whole life. It can literally take you down a road that you don't want to go on. Know one thing. Your mother might be gone, but trust me, she wants you to step up and be a man. Trust me, she ain't gonna want you to fall. She ain't gonna want you to fall to peer pressure and be a follower. Trust me, your mama, she gonna want you to step up and be a leader and become something in life. Trust me on that. So if any of you guys in that same position, think that way, and trust me, it will fuel your fire to go out and be whoever you want to be in this lifetime. Yeah. Nah, man, he wasn't the nicest guy in the world. But I did have him come and work for me one day. Let me give you a story on that right there. Ivan Putski was a guy who he was the owner of the school. A guy at the school by the name of Scott Casey was my mentor, my trainer. Ivan Putski, he ran me down as much as he could run me down. I don't know why it was. Maybe because I was black and I was pretty good at what I did. But it was another white guy by the name of Joe Blanchard came up to me and told me, son, you're good as anybody I've ever seen wrestle in this business. One day you're going to become a big, big superstar and you're going to go places. In hindsight, never knew that I was going to have a Legends convention one time and Ivan Putski had to come and work for me. So that was literally probably the most gratifying day I had in my life up to that point. Was the guy who had ran me down, looked down upon me, was working for me now. So guys, it's not that hard. You just got to put your, like I said, put your hard hat on. I never in a million years thought I would be the boss, but I made sure I put myself in position become the boss. What is that you got, man? Is that my bio? Who else? What you got? You know, I've told my story to the world. You know, I wrote the book as far as, you know, where I came from, what I've been through, my struggles, my trials and tribulations. You know, I have no secrets in my closet. Everything is out in public. You can pull it up on Wikipedia. You'll see my mugshot. You know, you'll see, you know what I was involved in. You'll see, I have nothing to hide. And the thing is, I don't want to hide anything, guys. You know, I don't want to hide anything. I need guys like yourself to know that I'm flawed. I'm no different than you are. I make mistakes just like you do. But the thing is, making those mistakes and learning from them. Because stepping in that same mud over and over and over, getting your shoes wet and then getting them dirty and having to go and drive, that ain't no way to go, guys. Don't step in the same potholes over and over and over. I mean, I remember once I got suspended from school for the year. For the year. Put me back a whole year. How do you think I felt being an 8th grader in a class with 9th graders? What do you think that did to my self-esteem? And then I failed the next year because I'm mad they suspended me for a year. So now I'm an 8th grader dealing with 10th graders. What do you think that did to my psyche? It made me feel like I was the dumbest kid in the school. I always looked at myself that way. Man, I'm such a dumb kid. I swear I did. I really looked at myself that way. Not knowing my real potential. Not knowing how smart I really was. Not knowing how far I was going to go in this lifetime. But right now, guys, like I said, I'm 47 years old. And I know what you're thinking. He don't look 47. I know that's what you're thinking. But I'm 47 years old, guys. I've seen it all. I've walked in those same shoes. And like I say, you can make it. Man, if I wouldn't have went to jail, I would have stayed on that same path. Jail was the best thing that ever happened for me. If I wouldn't have went to jail, I wouldn't have known the meaning of being able to tell the truth and looking myself in the mirror. Going to jail and then coming out and realizing my son was in foster care and then having to step up to the plate. I probably wouldn't even cared about my son, where he was, if I wouldn't have went through that experience and saw that. And I'm gonna tell you right now, jail is not a place for anybody, you know, to want to see in their lifetime. I never thought or saw myself in jail ever in this lifetime. I never wanted to go through that. But I can honestly say, if I, at the time and period, wouldn't have went to jail, I probably would have ended up just like my mother had said many, many times. I probably would have ended up dead. Probably would have ended up on drugs because I was running a foul life. I was going down a path that I shouldn't have been on. I'm talking about, like I say, marijuana, cocaine, all that stuff. I was involved with all of that. And like I said, if it wouldn't have been for that one stop in the Texas Department of Corrections, I don't know if I would have ever been able to get away from that. Thank God.
What did you do to get that ring right now?
This ring right here, guys, like I said, you can get one too, 10 grand. This here actually was, no, let me tell you a story about this ring, guys. This ring right here is, I grew up in Houston. I watched a guy by the name of Paul Bosch. He was a wrestler in the 60s. Became a wrestling promoter in the 70s. He passed away in 1983. I got a picture of him with this ring on. This ring is over 40 years old. And I grew up admiring him for what he did around the city. He worked with the Boys Club. He worked with the Progressive Boxing Association. He helped so many kids in his life, and every time, you know, after getting into the wrestling business, you know, you hear somebody talk about Paul Bosch, they always had something good to say about it. Never had one bad word said about Paul Bosch. I said, I want to be like Paul Bosch one day. Then I knew a guy who was affiliated, you know, and part of the family, and knew that his wife was selling the ring, but she wanted to sell the ring to someone who loved the business just like Paul did. So I got the ring just to remind me of Paul Bosch and what he did with kids. I got the ring just so I could know that Paul Bosch is sitting on my shoulder and in my ear and guiding me in the right direction to do the right things for guys like yourself. And I tell you, this ring right here, it's the only ring I wear. It's on my wedding finger. My wife actually lets me get away with it because she knows how much it means to me. It's all about saving lives.
Okay, one more question, Chris?
When did you feel like you were the best wrestler?
Do I think I was the best wrestler?
When did you feel like it?
Man, I always felt like I was the best wrestler. Now, the thing is, if you don't think you're better than everybody else, ain't nobody else gonna think it. You gotta push yourself harder than anybody. I would go out and I would wrestle and I would come back and I'd tell everybody in the locker room to go out there and top that. You know, I had to believe in myself to the utmost in order to go out there and know that I could achieve, you know, greatness in this business. I always wanted to be, leave a legacy in this business. I always want to leave, you know that, you know, 100 years from now, when somebody think about wrestling, you know, my name might come up long after I'm dead and gone. I know I would have left my mark. But I tell you guys, leaving my mark in wrestling is very, very important. But more importantly than that, leaving my mark with you guys to become men is more important than anything that I've ever did in professional wrestling. And that's the honest to God's truth. If I could do that, if I leave here today and one of you guys in here got this message and took it to heart, do something with your life, all of it would have been worth it for me. I got to take one more.
Did you ever fight any of those wrestlers for real?
Oh, yeah, heck yeah. You read the internet. You know, I beat up a couple of guys, you know, and I had the ring on when I did it. But that's the no, but the thing is, I did one more serious question. Who you got? What you got? Huh? Nah, heck no, man. Right here.
What was your thought process while you was in jail? You say you was 21 going in, and you had just got through with one of the robberies at the different restaurants. So what was your thought process going in? Was it like, man, when I get back out here, I gotta go give me some more money? Was it?
I tell you, man, when my thought process when I went into prison, went to a place what they call Huntsville Prison, that's where they do the execution. I had to go through there first, and it was scary for me, you know. But I didn't let it show. You got to still be a man. You got to step up. I went from there to Texas Department of Corrections, a place called Pack 2. I remember sitting in that, walking down that corridor. I remember the door opening. I remember it closing behind me. I remember them, you know, assigning me my rack. I remember them assigning me my whites with my number on it. I remember all of that. I remember having to work in the laundry. I remember having to work in the fields. I remember all of that. I remember laying in my rack, crying at nighttime when nobody could see me, man, wondering how did I get myself in this position, and what was I going to do when I get out. First and foremost, I knew I wasn't coming back to prison ever again. I knew when I got up out of there, I had to do something productive with my life, not knowing exactly what that was. I knew that I didn't want to be a part of that peer pressure anymore and be a follower. I knew that from that day. I knew from that day I would never follow again. I would lead from that point on. So when I came up out of prison, the first thing that I was thinking about was just making it. But then, like I say, I had to make it not for myself, because once I found out my son was in foster care, I had to go through court. I had to go through courts to prove to the court that I was worthy enough to be a father for my son. Okay, so when I came up out of prison, everything changed for me. All the partying, all the hanging out with my boys, all the going out and trying to run up on the females, all that went away because I had a choice to make. The choice was my mother could raise 8 kids, a female. What kind of man would I be if I couldn't raise one when I looked in that mirror? So my focus totally went away from me. It went towards raising my son and making sure he had everything that he needed. I'm gonna tell you, we didn't have a whole lot, but we was together. We had a lot of love, and we made it through this life. I'm a granddad now. I'm a granddad. And I tell you, that's what I was thinking about, was my son. And the reason why I think I'm here right now, because of that blessing I got from God for not leaving my son in that foster care when I could have, and he would have been locked up in the system until he was 18 years old. And then probably came out with the same mentality of not wanting to do something well just because his dad left him behind. I wasn't willing to do that. So I was willing to do whatever it was to become a man when I came out. Not a boy. When I went in, I was a boy when I went in jail, when I went to prison. I was a boy. When I walked out of that gate, and that guy told me, "I'll see you when you get back," I wanted to make him the biggest liar I possibly could, but I didn't. Actually, he was right, because he did see me again, but it was on television for the next 20 years. So I made sure he saw me, but just in a different light. And on top of that, I actually saw that deputy at one of our shows in like the 3rd row, and he was literally pumping me up. You know what I mean? I got a lot of gratification from that right there. Guys, hey guys, first and foremost, like I said, I'm going to leave a number for you guys. I want you guys to use that number. Like I said, if you find yourself in a place and you need somebody to talk to, guide you through that storm, I want you to call me. Let me know exactly what you're going through. And whatever I can do to help you, I'm going to be there for you. I want you guys to know that it's not a whole lot of guys that's in certain positions that's willing to step out, put that hand out. But that's what I'm here for, guys. I'm putting my hand out to you. And I want you guys to grab a hold to it. Come along this ride. Join the Booker T ministry. And make something out of yourselves. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Hey, you guys will be better than that. Let's get up out your seats, please. Give this man a standing ovation. Come on. Let's give a hand to Triple Threat for bringing him out. A Medallion Press, the guys who are distributing the book. Any of you guys want to come down here? Book, we want to take a chance. Hold up, guys. Hold up, guys. Hold up, guys. We're going to make sure you get his number, but if some of you guys would like to take a picture with Booker T, please come down. Okay, we're going to do this in a very orderly fashion, like we got great singers.
And what we gonna do here?
We're going to make sure we get the card. Like I said, we'll make a bunch of them for you guys. Make sure y'all get that number. And like I say, guys, get with me because I'm here for you.
Okay, how about this section here? Anybody here wants to come up and take a picture? You guys, come on down.
Come on, dog.
Now can you dig that, sucker?
Okay, you guys in the front row, in the middle here, you guys want to come down? Brian, you guys want to come on down? Let them all. We're going to get some group pictures there. Let's get more than one in there. Come on, come on. Sit back down.
Hey, go see that tour right here.
All right, the rest of you guys remain in your seats. Remain in your seats, my brother. After you take your pictures, go back to your seat. Come on this side, Lamont.
George.
Bill, you guys coming down? Bill, you guys coming down? Come on down. Get back to your seats, Jim.
Yeah, just start handing them out. Yeah, and tell them we'll put them
Come on around, guys.
Or I can. Just give them to anyone.
Hey, Kel. Hey, y'all better be. All right, here we go, guys. Ready? Hey, Kel.
We got a couple more pictures to take, Mr. Martin. Those who take the pictures, head back to your seats.
All right, here we go, guys. 1, 2, 3.
Come on, you just want juniors or seniors? Hey, you guys, those of you, they're passing out the cards where you can go on Facebook to see these pictures. So please take one. Hey, Chris.
Everybody come down this way. Everybody come down.
Here we go. Ready, guys? 1, 2, 3.
Mr. Morrow, you want the seniors to exit? All right, all the seniors, red shirts, exit stage left.
Where that cameraman is?
Thanks a lot for coming, guys.
Hey, man, hit me up.
Hey, fill in down, you guys. Fill in down here.
Listen up, guys.
All right, listen up. She's going to hand you your scorecard. I want you to start looking at the top part of it. It talks about BOY and MOY. Beginning of the year and middle of the year. All right,
Now call your name, come down quickly and get it. Nathaniel Payne.
hurry up, Nate. Hurry up, Nate.
Devon Purnell.
Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
Matthew Talent Farrow. Ernest Tyler.